I've got the John Deere 6120E out here, and attached to it I've got a Aitchison seed drill. It's actually called an Aitchison Grassfarmer because this thing is really designed best to plant seed into a sod. We're going to plant a mixture of oats and radish and vetch. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the planting system works before we actually go out in the field and plant the seed. It has a row of discs going across the front of the unit. This disc here is directly in front of this cutting point back here where my finger is. With this clean cut through the sod by the disc, the T-shaped seed channel opener directly behind the disc creates a germination chamber for the seed, so the seed is in contact with the soil below the sod. The seed delivery pipe behind the T-shaped opener delivers the seed down through the sod to the soil surface at the level set by the bottom of the T-shaped opener. The ground level is going to be about here or so. You can set it to any depth, but usually you set it down to a ½ inch to an inch or so. So this channel is opened up, and we've got this tubing system that lets the seed drop down into the soil. So we've got 14 of these seed delivery systems going across the unit. They're each about 6 inches apart, and they're sort of staggered in 3 rows. You can see there. The depth of the planting is set by these wheels. The system rides along these wheels. So you can move the wheel up and down and set the depth here. It's just simple lift and unscrew a couple bolts and lift the wheels up and down. So that sets the seed drill height. Okay, now I'm going to talk about how the system meters and delivers the seed. So we've got this drive wheel that runs along the ground. There's a chain that goes up to a shaft and then turns this gear, then turns this chain around, and that turns this chain around, and this is a drive shaft that's connected down along the planting row. So there's 2 ranges. A higher planting rate and a lower planting rate, and it's adjustable within those ranges. All I have to do is swap these 2 gears here, and it changes the range, the seed delivery range. And then within either the high range or the low range, then I have to, you can adjust that further by turning this thing, and that moves the planting rate up or down, just like that. And when I'll bring that around here, and I'm going to take this panel off here in a minute, but you can see up inside here, this is the sort of a guide that they use for different planting rates. This is the gearbox setting that I showed you in front there, and then they have a range 1 or a range 2, and then you have the planting rate here in pounds per acre. So in range 1 it goes from 1 to 30 pounds per acre. In range 2 you can set it from, I don't know, you probably do around 10 or so, up to around 300 pounds per acre. So it's got a pretty good range in planting rates. And one calibrates the actual planting rate by weighing seed collected in a cup after turning the drive wheel 39 times by hand. Okay, I took that cover plate off, and we've got 14 seed metering spots going along this bar here. Okay, there's a spring that holds this sponge pad up against this metal plate here, and if I pull that plate back, you can see that there's a light up there that goes up to the seed chamber, seed holding chamber. This is what we're planting. It's a mixture of oats. The red seed is the radish, and then the gray seed, it's coated, is the vetch. We go up to the top here, down, and we've got these channels where the seed comes down in the hopper here and is directed into these little spots down here, and you can see the sponge pad. I got a little bit of seed here, and there's the sponge pad here, so the seed comes down into this cavity and gets caught up into this channel with this rotating sponge. And I'm gonna rotate the drive wheel now, and you should be able to see that seed being sucked down in there, and depending upon the gearbox settings, you'll get a different planting rate. And it doesn't matter how fast or slow you go, because the drive wheel is going to turn the sponge pads at the rate that is appropriate. You see the disc rotating, and should see seeds dropping out here. So I'm going to get on the drive wheel now and run this. And I'm seeing seed come out the bottom here. Run the ground wheel again. You should see seed dropping out. The seed's dropping out into a little pile on the ground and just underneath that tube. So with this sponge pad assembly for delivering the seed, it's a relatively simple process to meter the seed out. It seems to be able to take a seed mixture like this without any problem. So Jeffrey's loading the hopper with some seed, and we're going to go out and start planting. We are going out to plant the West Bahia field. This is a Bahia grass field we routinely cut for hay. Several weeks ago, we cut and baled square bales from this field. It would have been ideal to plant seed into that field at that time, but we weren't able to. When the growing grass is cut really low, like with a hay mower, and all the loose grass and thatch is removed by the raking and baling process, this makes an ideal bed into which to plant the seed. We weren't able to plant at that time, and it's been several weeks since then. During this time, the Bahia grass has regrown quite a bit, and I'm hoping that the regrowing Bahia grass doesn't give the seed mixture too much competition. We will see. One of the nice things about planting into a field that has been just cut and baled for hay is that it gives the seed a chance to germinate and come up a bit before the existing grass gets too high and causes too much shade. The Bahia grass is a warm season summer grass and is going to go dormant in another month or so. This late in the year, early fall, its growth rate is already really slowed down. If we can get the oats to take, giving them an early start, they should be ready to provide some forage as the amount of Bahia grass thins down. It's not always practical to plant into a recently cut hay field. We also plant into areas that are cut back with a rotary mower, like our 8-foot Alamo cutter or our 15-foot side wing rotary cutter. This leaves a residue on the soil surface, however, that the planter has to work through, and often results in raking up big clumps of trash that are trapped around the seed delivery tines. To clear this, one has to stop the tractor, lift the planter, go forward a bit, set down, and continue planting. As long as it's not too severe, it is workable and gets seed into the ground. As you can see, here in the West Bahia field, Jeffrey's having a pretty easy time just going back and forth with the tractor. He's not having to lift up the seed drill, except at the end of each row to turn around. But here he's slowed down so you can see the movement of the tines past the grass and the trash. There's a little bit of trash that's picked up that was missed by the hay baler, but it just sort of works off those tines and goes around. That's where, if it's too thick, it'll build up and clog, and then that's when Jeffrey would have to lift up the seed drill, clear that, and then go forward. So here's a close-up of the channels that were cut, that the seed has been deposited in. You can see they're 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch wide, maybe. They go down about 1 inch. The existing grass, the regrowing Bahia grass, is starting to get up pretty high. And so a few weeks, or several days later, I could see radish coming up pretty good. The vetch was coming up. I'm not quite sure how the oats are going to do. Oats are coming up in some places, and some places it's not quite as apparent. On another day, I took the tractor out to the northeast blueberry field, opened the back window and pointed the camera out there. This field has a variety of planting conditions. There's most of it's been mowed with the rotary cutter and not raked up, and then there's a patch that I sprayed with glyphosate to try to kill the Kogan grass off. So that's just pretty much bare ground now. So we'll have some different conditions to show you what the planting practice is like. You can see here it's starting to ball up, and I think I should be stopping pretty soon to lift the seed drill, so clear that out. But I don't, and it keeps building up until I get to the end of the row. Then I lift it up, and you see everything falls out, and I start turning around here to start the next pass. So here we're going again. I'm starting to collect some trash, but you can see the vibrating tines tend to clear moderate amounts of it out. It sort of wiggles around a bit and then moves off to the side. So that's a good thing. But if it gets too thick, it does start to ball up, and then you have to stop and lift the seed drill. Just to the left of the screen, you can see the bare spot where I sprayed the glyphosate, killed off most of the grass and Kogan grass. Now I'm lifting and clearing that patch of trash, and then we'll proceed on through the grass here. A few days later, you can see the plants starting to emerge. The radish is the broad-leafed seedling. The oats are the long, thin, grass-like things. And the vetch is that multi-leafed little seedling right in the middle of the view right there. You're noticing the bare dirt, seedlings coming up through the bare dirt, a lot of other trash around. This is actually in a third area Jeffrey planted earlier. Several weeks before that, I had mowed that tall stuff you see in the background down, and so it was like this. So he planted into this mess of stuff, and you can see the seedlings are coming up fairly readily through it. The issue was that he accumulated these big piles of thatch that he had to lift the seed drill periodically and work his way around. So except for that, we've got a stand of oats, vetch, and radish coming up, surrounding piles of thatch like this. So it works. So thanks for watching Longleaf Sheep Hill Ranch. See you next time.